Hey guys, Chris Patterson here. I meant to make this video last week and just didn't get around to it. So had a weekend busy full of wrestling and other things, family. My daughter had a dance recital. That was super cool. But last week created a little video on dwarves. And so I wanted to give a race spotlight. One of the things I want to start doing is kind of explaining how I encounter and create some of the different typical fantasy races in all my books. The Tales of the Eternal Warriors is a historical fantasy fiction, and so there's still a lot of fantasy elements in that. And so the first race that I picked outside of humans is dwarves. And I think for many classical fantasy readers, including myself, the one non-human race that people seem to really lean towards and latch on to and really fascinates a lot of people are elves. I mean, even J.R.R. Tolkien kind of exhaustively talked about elves and created two completely brand new languages for elves, right? And so elves are always kind of those like very fantastical, intriguing creatures that people talk about. But for me, for whatever reason, when I played Dungeons and Dragons as a kid and read fantasy books from Forgotten Realms and Dragonlance and all those different things, for whatever reason, dwarves always kind of seemed to resonate with me. I thought they were pretty cool. And, I think there's a couple reasons why, and then I'll explain how dwarves are interact within my world that I've created with the Dream Walker Chronicles. I've always been kind of like really in tune with that kind of like honor system. Dwarves seem to be like gruff. They like beer. I like beer. They always wear beards. I have a beard. I mean, I didn't when I was a kid, but they're like based on honor and strength. And, those are things that just have always resonated with me. Just almost kind of like, high society barbarians, I guess. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but, so dwarves in my world are just that. I think there's a lot of classical elements behind dwarves that they carry. They're kind of grumpy, they're gruff, they're hard. But I also think that within my world, I do a pretty good job of showing that soft spot of the dwarves. They honor loyalty, they honor integrity. They are, they for the most part worship the creator. They call An, A-N, which is literally one, in, kind of many Germanic languages. And, so that's kind of the role of dwarves. They're, if you take a look at Dungeons and Dragons, dwarves are oftentimes lawful good. I kind of take that same approach with dwarves in my world, but I think where they differentiate a little bit is I try to give them a little more diversity than you see in like Dungeons and Dragons and Forgotten Realms and things like that. They are individuals, and just being a dwarf doesn't mean you're good. Just like I think being a goblin doesn't mean you're automatically bad. And, one of the things that I think is one of the things that I tried to do a lot of is, base a lot of my different races and even cultures within the Dreamwalker Chronicles on real world cultures. I think one of the things that can happen in a fantasy book or a fantasy series is the different types of people become so foreign to us. It's kind of hard for us to wrap our heads around. I mean, I even think of like the Mistborn series, which is amazing, by the way. Brandon Sanderson's awesome. And, there's even some of the different people groups in there that, it's like, it takes a little while to wrap my head around who they are or what they are, what their personalities are. So, one of the things I try to do, and this is certainly not to compare myself or make myself sound better than any other amazing author out there, but one of the things that I tried to do was really connect different cultures and people groups and races to, cultures and people groups of our world, of the real world. And so for me, dwarves are very Germanic. They're very, if you think about the language, it's a harder sounding language. It can be very guttural at times. Kind of that idea of the Germanic barbarians, in pre-medieval Europe, being, hard and tough and rough, but also very honor bound and loyal bound. So things like that, those are elements. And even the names that I've chosen for my dwarvish cities and dwarves themselves, I oftentimes they're based on Germanic roots. So the names have Germanic elements and Germanic backgrounds to them. So yeah, so I've always, like I said, I've always resonated with dwarves a little bit more. If you get an opportunity to read the Dream Walker Chronicles, you'll find that some of Eric Eliotum's best friends are dwarves. And, not that elves didn't fascinate me or any other race in Dungeons and Dragons, but I just really, really enjoyed dwarves. And so I hope you do too. So anyways, that was my first race spotlight of this new kind of attempt to be a little more present on social media. I hope you enjoy. So until next time, happy reading. For those of you that write, happy writing and peace.